I'm going to talk a bit about Google Calendar and how you can go ahead and create a class calendar, share it out with your students, some of the things you can do with it as far as, putting the events in and also attaching documents and things, and where you can then place this calendar. And then after that's available, I'll talk to you a little bit about what the students can do on their end. So to start with, you're going to want to go to the Google Calendar page where you would already have listed for sure one calendar that's going to have your name that you can kind of turn on and off. And you can notice that with this little colored dot here to tell what you're viewing. So you can view all the different calendars you have within your one calendar just by toggling them on and off. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to leave them all off. And to create the class calendar, you're going to go here where this My Calendars is, this little drop down, and you're going to do a Create New Calendar. For the calendar name, you can call it your class. So I'm going to say Camary Math B Block. And this can be however makes most sense for you and the type of course or classes you're teaching. So Camary Math B Block. You can give it a description here. This is a 7th grade math class, however you want to say it. You are going to click this button to share calendar with others and make this public. This will allow both students and the parents of those students to be able to subscribe to that calendar, and I can show you that later. So you're going to want to make sure you share this calendar with others, make it public, okay? And you want to have this section to say, see all event details. So once you've created the name, given a brief description, you don't even have to put anything in there if you don't want to, and make sure you share it with others and make it public, we're going to go ahead and create this calendar. All right? Yes. And what you're going to notice in this list of calendars here, you're going to see Camary Math B Block. Here it is right here. I have a new calendar there. And again, I can toggle on and off. So you don't have to have a certain calendar on or visible in order to add an event to it. So as a teacher, I would use this calendar to put on my long-term assignments. I can put it on simple homework, study guides, reminders, whatever I wanted to do. So if I knew I had a test coming up for this class on Friday the 6th, I can go ahead and do one of two things. I can actually go to the actual time slot. So if I know it was 11:13 that this class had a test, I would click somewhere around that time. I can do edit event, and I can actually be specific and say it's going to be 11:13 to 12:43. That's the length of the class. Maybe it's a 90-minute class. I can say, polygons test. Please study for the test on polygons. See the attached study guide. And I put that there because what you can do is you can add an attachment. All right, you can add an attachment, and this will open up your Google Drive. You can also upload a file just like you normally would, right from your computer. You can click upload, select files from computer, and you'll see this familiar window here where you can upload anything from your H drive or anywhere else, a flash drive, anything. But I'm going to just say my drive, and I'm just going to pick just some random document. We can just say a little document here. Let's just say that that is our study guide, okay? And you could attach a spreadsheet, you could attach a PowerPoint, whatever you wanted to do, you can give access to students for this document. You can add as many as you need to. The other important thing here is right here where it says calendar. It's telling you where do you want this entry to be made. Right now, by default, it's for my personal calendar. You want to make sure you click this and choose the entry for that class. So I'm going to say this is going to go on the Camary B Block class. Okay. So title, date and time, I can choose the calendar, any attachments. I can color code. Maybe red is going to be my tests always. Once that's in there, I can click save. And you're going to see here nothing is showing up. And the reason for that is I don't have anything active. But if I turn on my Cameri Math B block, there's my polygons test entry, right? And if I turn on this one, you're going to see some of my other appointments. But there is what this Cameri Math B block class is. Now, whereas I put this exact time here for this class, you don't have to put the exact time. If you just want to know that this class has a test on this day, let's say there's a test tomorrow, Thursday the 5th, I can click in this area up here, right? And I don't even have to click in that area. I can do the same thing here. When I go to edit event, I can just check all day. This just puts the event on that day. So I can say study for vocab quiz. All right, and quizzes I'll say are yellow. I want to make sure this is on my math class calendar. I can give it a description. I can add an attachment just like before. And then I click save. And you're going to see up here, it's in this area up here, which is an all-day event. So it's not tied to a specific time. Maybe you're going to have one calendar for multiple classes. And they have the same quiz, but different times. You can do it 2 times, or you can just leave it as an all-day. It doesn't matter. But we can do that. You can put, if I go here, you can put events, study for midterm. You can say over the course of a couple days. Make sure it's on this. Click save, and you can see it goes across multiple days. Okay, so we've created our calendar. We've put events on there for this particular class. Now, how do the students get access to this? Where can they find this? Different options that you can do for this. So the first one I'll point out is as far as itsLearning. So if you're in your itsLearning course and you want to add your Google Calendar itsLearning, you can add a content block, choose rich content. You can say class calendar. What we're going to do is embed this Google Calendar. We're going to embed the Google Calendar into your itsLearning. So in order to do that, we need to use HTML code. Okay. So in order to input HTML code, you have to hit this source button right here. So I click this source button. You can see everything else here becomes grayed out, right? So I hit this source button, it becomes grayed out. And now I need to get the code from my calendar. So I can go back here to my Google Calendar. For my drop-down menu next to this class calendar, I'm going to go to calendar settings, and then if I scroll down, there's this little code right here. Okay, I can copy all of this, right? Make sure all of that is copied. All right, copy. I can go back to here, paste, and it pastes that code right in here. Okay, what I like to do is change, and you could adjust these 2 numbers however much you want. So right here where you see width equals 800, height equals 600, you can adjust those numbers to change the style and how the calendar looks. What I like to do is change the width to 100%. That makes it take up 100% of the window you're putting it in. But again, you can play with those numbers to change it however you would like. But I'll put width equals 100%, and then I'll click OK. And you're going to see right here, all right, the calendar. Now, any changes I make on this calendar will show up right here. As you can see, here's that study for the test. Here's this one. All right. We can do week view. The students can go week view. There's that one across multiple days. All right. Students can do the week or month view. All right. There's also agenda. They can just see a list of events, right? A list of events. And you have an ability to make this the default view over here when you go to calendar settings. And right here with this embed code, you can customize. And when you customize, you can say, what is the default view? I can click, I don't want it the month view. I want an agenda. I want them to see a list of assignments. And when I click agenda, there's a button up here, update the HTML. I can click this update, copy all of this, Control C, and I'll show you how to edit based on here. I can edit this calendar. All right. And again, I need to hit source because I'm dealing with HTML code, and there it is. And I could just replace this with the new code. Again, I can change width to 100%. Click OK, and now you're going to see this is going to pop up as an agenda because that's what I wanted as the default view. But again, students can go back to the week or the month. So that's itsLearning, and it can be here. We can go, and you're going to see if I change the layout to a single one column, you're going to see this is taking up 100% of that column. Okay. All right. Now, if you're using a Google site, for instance, okay, if I wanted to place my Google Calendar here on this site, it's even easier. I would edit my page, the page that I want the calendar on. I click this little pencil to edit the page. Once the editor opens up, you're going to go ahead, place your cursor where you want the calendar. You're going to go to Insert, Calendar, and it's going to give you a list of those calendars that are available to you from your account, your Google account. So it's going to list all the ones that you have here. So I'm looking for that Camary Math B block, which is right here. I select it, click Select. You can do change all these different settings here. What view, week, month, agenda. I'll go week. You can say what other things do you want it displayed. Do you want a title? You can say change the title however you want this stuff. The size is here. I'm going to click Save. And you can see here I'm going to center the calendar on my page. Once this is all done, you click Save at the top. And it's as easy as this, where now what's visible is a week view of my calendar. That will change whenever I change entries on here. So if I added an event here, science fair, right, and I create this event for Friday on the 6th, you're going to see when I go to my website, all right, so Friday on the 6th, I'm going to refresh this page. There's science fair. It's reflected right there. Same thing with the itsLearning. So if I refresh here, you're going to see science fair coming up on February 6th. And there it is. So all your changes that you deal with on this calendar will be reflected everywhere else. There's no need to go back to those calendars. All your work can be done within this one space for all of your classes, including your personal events as well. It's very good. So the third place is your Google Classroom. So within your Google Classroom, there is an About tab. This is going to be the best place to put your Google Calendar. So on my About tab, down here it says Add Materials. I can add materials. I'm going to say Class Calendar. And what I need to put is a link to this calendar. So I'm going to go back to here, back to my calendar. The drop-down arrow here, Calendar Settings. And what I'm looking for is not the HTML code, but the calendar address. And I'm going to click this HTML button right here. HTML. And I'm going to copy this address right here. All right. So Control C. You can use Control C to copy. I'm going to go back to my here. I open this little button here, the link, and I can Control V, paste that link. I click Add, and now I post. And you can see it's currently posting. And what this will do is we'll give access to the students to your class calendar right here. So when they go ahead and click on it, it's going to open up the class calendar and they can see right here. So students, direct access through your itsLearning. through your Google site if you have a Google site, but then also through your Google Classroom. They'll have access to the class calendar, always controlled by you from this one place, your Google Calendar. The best part about using the Google Calendar too is that students can subscribe to this calendar, and they can do that from any one of these locations, and I'm going to show you that now. And keep in mind too that not only students can subscribe to these calendars, but parents can subscribe to these calendars using their own accounts. You can share these with your coworkers. They can be compiled and put into one 7th grade calendar, all these different classes. There's so many different ways you can use this, but the best part is for you to maintain and manage all your class calendars in one location, embed them in places like itsLearning, Google Sites, and Google Classroom, and have students and parents be able to access that anywhere. Before, where we looked and had the calendar placed on a Google Classroom and itsLearning or a Google Site, this process is all going to work the same. I'm just going to use Google Classroom for this demonstration. So when a student accesses their class calendar, so here will be within Google Classroom, they're going to go ahead and see all the items that were placed in the calendar. Down in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see this little button called Plus Google Calendar. If the student or the parent clicks this button, it's going to go ahead and ask them to sign in if they haven't already signed in. Okay. And what it's going to ask, and I'll show you this. I'll just close real quick again because now I'm signed in. If I click that Google Calendar, it's going to ask, would you like to add this calendar, Camary Math B block, all right? So this is that class calendar. You want to say, yes, I want to add this calendar. When you do that, what happens is it adds that class calendar to your list of other calendars, which you can turn off and on, right? So ideally, you're going to start seeing your math class, your English class, your science, your activities calendar. You can have all these different calendars here that you can turn on and off, so you'd be able to see all of your classes for the semester, all the assignments in one place, as well as parents having that same ability for them to see all their children's assignments in one place. And again, if you don't want to see it, you can go ahead and just turn that off. So very easy. So regardless of, if we're accessing it through, we clicked here in the Google Classroom, it opened up this class calendar. We click this little button. This little button will be available whether you see it in itsLearning, whether you see it in Google Sites. It's right here where you click the plus Google Calendar. You can then add it to your list, and now you have access anywhere you sign in with that Google account. You don't have to go to Classroom even anymore. You don't even have to go to itsLearning, Google Sites. It's going to be part of your Google Calendar anywhere you sign in, which you can then sync to your phone, your iPad, any mobile device. Very easy and very convenient tool to have for knowing what assignments are due, both short-term and long-term.